you think that in the next 20 years Gold Coast City Council won't be busy? When do you think they'll have slow time? So I think doing this type of foresight project is trying to get ahead of the time game, saying we're always busy, we always have tons of projects. Let's slightly get ahead of time, start to solve tomorrow's problems today. But the idea is, okay, we do a bit extra work now, but over the long term, our actual workload decreases and our capacity to create futures we want increases. Well, there's many cities all around the world doing parts of foresight, looking for innovation, looking for ways they can do things differently, generally around the sustainability agenda. But there's very specific cities who have started like a 2020 project. Brisbane, for example, is one. 10, 15 years ago, they started to think what in fact are the characteristics of their ideal city. Those characteristics now inform strategy, inform budget. Maroochydore on the Sunshine Coast, they started many years ago a project called Maroochydore 2020, I believe. Now, one of the key outcomes of that was, one, clarity of what the city wants. This project started citizens to engage in what is the future we want to be in, what can we do today to realize that. Even issues like water, or especially climate change. Given that if there is going to be sea level rise, what should a city like Gold Coast do? It could wait 20, 30 years because it's too busy doing day-to-day stuff, and cities want to have a capacity, a capability to influence the future in the way they want it to go. So foresight helps citizens and managers make far more better and informed decisions about futures that they want. The key is, if a foresight project is going to succeed, it must include the stakeholders. Staff are stakeholders in the future of Gold Coast City Council. They have to be included. Citizens are, as well as leaders are. What's most important is citizens, leaders, they start a process of innovation in the city. So Gold Coast decides what does it want to be. So I know the transition, Gold Coast is a tourist center, to now people who live here saying we want a livable city. It's not just about tourists, it's about those of us who live here. So that's the current challenge. So a future-oriented city is solving tomorrow's problems today. And it's ensuring that the worst of the big cities don't happen here. Congestion, pollution, cultural divide, digital divide. It's saying as we grow, we know these problems are possible. Let's set up frameworks so we don't get congestion. There's a business as usual scenario. Gold Coast grows, grows, grows. Infrastructure starts to decline. All the social problems happen. So we know there's going to be growth here. So the question is, what's scenario two? Is there a scenario where there's growth, but it's smart, where there's still communities, where it's still sustainable? So change is going to happen. Bold Future's about, let's make change where we want it to go that's more socially, environmentally, culturally responsible. So there's ways to make this work. I remember Penang 35 years ago, it was called the Pearl of the Orient. They just went with more growth, more industry, and now no one can swim on the beach. I mean, they didn't think through, yes, we want industry, but here are the social, cultural, green outcomes. In fact, now it's unswimmable. Does Gold Coast want to be that way? So if there's going to be population growth, how do we ensure that what makes this place unique stays unique? Bold Future is about addressing those problems and making sure they don't overwhelm the city. I would be very sad to come here in 20 years and see this as the crime capital of Australia, or that the beaches are not swimmable. That would be a very sad outcome. But it happens. It happens in cities all over the world. They're so burdened by today's problems, and then suddenly the one thing that made them beautiful is lost.